Whenever I go to a funeral and listen to the eulogies, it occurs to me that these beautiful speeches are wasted on the people who are there, and I wonder whether these sentiments were ever expressed to the person in the casket or urn before they died. So I decided to write a eulogy for my father and read it to him while he's still alive. If you have the ability and desire to do this, I highly recommend it. It's very sad to me that some people die feeling unloved. You never know when it's going to be the last time you'll see someone. My soul twin, Jeff, had a brilliant suggestion that the spelling of my new concept be Youlogy because it means I'm telling you while you are still here on the planet. So here is the eulogy that I read to my father. By the way, after I read it to him, he said, "That was the best eulogy ever." Then he said, "Hey, I just heard my me-logy." While you're listening to it, I invite you to think about your own fathers, including your biological fathers, or adoptive fathers, or stepfathers, or grandfathers, or godfathers, or any men that have loved and guided you with their paternal energy. My dad is not perfect, but he is magnificent. All throughout my childhood, he kissed me, hugged me, made me laugh, and told me that he loved me. He told me that I was wonderful and magical and that I could accomplish anything that I wanted to do in my life. I believed him. My life has been a manifestation of the core belief he instilled in me that anything is possible. My dad was born in Seoul, South Korea, and he came to America when he was a teenager. He got a PhD at MIT. He worked for the US government as a structural engineer for the Navy for 36 years. He taught advanced level engineering courses at George Washington University. He also loves the English language and wordplay, and he's a crossword puzzle junkie like me. He is incredibly articulate, and he taught me the importance of enunciating clearly. He coined the word drow, D-R-O-W, which I submitted to Urban Dictionary and it got accepted. Now, unlike a palindrome, which is a word that spells the same word backwards, a drow is a word that spells a different word backwards. For example, stressed becomes desserts, and diaper becomes repaid. Now, I like to make up words too, like bliss combobulated, which is when you're so happy you lose your balance and bump into things. My dad has integrity. He worked hard every day, and when he came home from work every night at 6 p.m., we ate dinner together as a family. He never complained about his job, not once. He never had a bad thing to say about his colleagues or his employees. To this day, he never gossips about frivolous things. He always treats everyone he encounters with the same level of respect. And I have never heard him say one racist or sexist thing in his life. My dad is also hilarious. He's the life of the party, the MC, a great singer, and a master joke teller. His humor spans the entire spectrum, from sophisticated to slapstick, and he's able to laugh at himself. The gift of being able to see the humor in life is something I cherish every day. I am now a stand-up comedian because of him. My dad is also a huge movie buff. He owns, ready, over 2,000 movies, including every Oscar-winning film. I grew up watching all the classics, and I especially loved some of his favorite black and white films, like Roman Holiday and Casablanca. Every time I watched a movie with my father, I would secretly dream of being in one someday. I am now a film actor because of him. My dad is also my biggest fan. About 30 years ago, when my very first movie premiered in Virginia, we all went to the theater together as a family. I had a small part in the Steve Martin film House Sitter. My dad brought his camera into the theater. What an Asian. And he was taking pictures of the screen while my scene was on. We were all making fun of him, whispering to him that photos of the movie in a dark theater would never come out. Well, we were wrong. They came out great, and I was so thankful to have them. He started carrying the photos of me with Steve Martin in his jacket pocket, and he would stop strangers on the street to brag about me, which goes against Korean cultural etiquette. He also mails me actual prints of all the great pictures he takes every time we're together as a family, even in this age of digital technology. And he still cuts out and mails me newspaper articles that he knows I will love. My dad is not only a man of science, he is also a man of faith. Many years ago, he got lymphoma, and he not only survived, but also thrived because of his complete faith in God and his absolute belief in his ability to reclaim his health. He kept his endless optimism and sense of humor throughout the journey. And he once again went against Korean cultural etiquette by sharing his experiences via email with all of his family and friends. In Asian culture, it's considered low class or tacky to reveal that you have any problems. No, everything fine. You are supposed to pretend that everything's perfect, but my dad taught me that we are only as sick as our secrets. Then in 2006, I got breast cancer. In fact, I've had breast cancer 3 times because, like most Asians, I am an overachiever. Woohoo! Now, the 3rd time it metastasized to stage 4 and spread from my left breast to my right breast, my lymph nodes, my skull, my sternum, my back, and my left hip. I was given 6 months to live in 2011, but I kept a positive attitude and I cracked jokes all along the way. I embraced many different types of treatments, changed what I eat and drink, and learned some amazing life lessons. I also shared my journey via social media. And I received such an outpouring of love and support that it cracked my heart open. I was quite literally loved back to life. My dad showed me that anything is possible. I was able to completely reverse the disease, and I am now, miraculously, cancer-free. I am 55 years young, and the best is yet to come. Thank you. The idea of my dad dying someday is completely unacceptable to me. The good news, though, is that my dad knows that I love him with every molecule of my being. He has told me countless times and shown me in so many different ways that he loves me, and because of that, I have become someone who enthusiastically expresses love. As Queen Elizabeth once said, "I am my father's daughter." My dad has always made me feel special, and he reminded me how blessed I am. In fact, when I was a little kid, he would tuck me into bed every night by singing the song, "Counting My Blessings," which ends like this. Okay, sorry. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. My dad will turn 81 this year. His face lights up every time I walk into a room, and his voice lights up every time I call. Because of him, every day, I count my blessings.